Hello, and welcome back to this video. So here we're going to be looking at forming and solving equations. So all of the questions in this video are suitable for both foundation and higher tier. However, this topic, you can get some particular questions that are higher tier only. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to cover questions that are suitable for both higher and foundation. Okay? So the objective here is to convert word problems into equations. So when we solve the equations, we are able to find unknown quantities. So firstly, we need to ask what it actually means to form an equation. So often we get word problems or real life situations that can be turned into mathematical problems, which can therefore be solved. So here's an example. So we have a number is doubled and then 3 is added. The result is 15, so we need to find the original number. So this is kind of like one of those riddles where I'm thinking of a number, I double it and I add 3, I get 15, find my original number, that kind of thing. So at the moment, it's not really a mathematical problem, it's just a bunch of words. And mathematicians, we don't like words, we like equations. So rather than calling it a number, I'm going to define my number and I'm going to call it x. So a number is doubled. So what does it mean to double something? It means to times it by 2. So I've got my x and I'm timesing it by 2. So I now have 2x. So we have 2x and then 3 is added. So what does it mean to add 3? It means add 3. So we now have 2x plus 3 and the result is 15. So that is another way of saying 2x plus 3 is equal to 15, and here I have formed an equation. So now what we need to do is find the original number. So in other words, we're trying to find out what x is. So I need to solve this linear equation. So firstly, what I'm going to do is get rid of the plus 3. So the opposite of adding 3 is minusing 3. So I need to minus 3 from both sides, and I end up with 2x equals 12. So we have 2x equals 12, so the opposite of timesing by 2 is now dividing by 2, so I end up with x equals 6. So my number is 6, and if I really want, I can double check my answer. So if I double 6, I get 12, and then if I add 3 to 12, I get 15. So the result should be 15, so that means I know I've definitely done it correctly, okay? Okay, so here we have Amira is 3 years older than Ben. The sum of their ages is 29, and we want to find how old Ben is. So here, this is just a bunch of words that, again, mathematicians don't like seeing. So we're going to try and turn this sentence into a mathematical equation. So we have Amira and we have Ben. So I'm going to put A for Amira and B for Ben. Now, I don't know how old Amira is and I don't know how old Ben is, but I do know Amira is 3 years older than Ben. So if I call Ben x, I could therefore call Amira x plus 3, because if, say, Ben was 10, Amira would be 13 because she's 3 years older. So we don't know how old Ben is for sure, so we're just going to call him x, and Amira is whatever x is plus 3. So we're then told that the sum of their ages is 29. So if we add x plus 3 and x, we should get 29. So now we've kind of got an equation. So we have x plus 3 plus x equals 29. I'm just going to simplify this to make it a little bit easier. So I get 2x plus 3 equals 29. Okay, so 2x plus 3 is 29. I now need to solve this. So the opposite of adding 3 is minusing 3. So I'm going to minus 3 from both sides, and we end up with 2x equals 26. And then we need to get rid of the 2. So to get rid of the times in by 2, we divide by 2. So we end up with x equals 13. So therefore x is 13. So that was Ben. So Ben is 13. So Ben equals 13. And Amira is 3 years older than Ben, so Amira must be 16. The actual question, though, we need to read the question properly. It says, how old is Ben? So the answer we would just give, Ben is 13. Okay? So this one, we have a taxi charges a £4 fixed fee plus £2 for every mile that is travelled. If the total cost of a particular journey is £22, we need to form and solve an equation to find the number of miles travelled. Okay, so this one maybe is a little bit more confusing to read, but we have £4 fixed fee. So we have £4, that's going to be the cost regardless of how far has been travelled. And then we plus £2 per mile. So we're plussing £2 per mile. So 4 plus 2m is the total charge of the journey. So if the total cost of the journey is £22, we can therefore say that 4 plus 2m is equal to 22. Okay? So we've now got an equation that we can solve to find the number of miles travelled. So firstly, we need to minus 4 from both sides to get rid of the 4. So we end up with 2m equals 18. And then we need to divide both sides by 2, so we end up with m equals 9. So the number of miles travelled is 9. That is the solution to this question. So this example, we have a rectangle and it has a length of 3 centimetres more than its width. The perimeter is 34 and we therefore need to find the width. So this one, I would start by drawing a picture of the rectangle. So if I start by drawing out a rectangle, the length is 3 centimetres more than its width. So the problem is I don't know what the width is. So if I just call the width x, then the length is going to be 3 centimetres more than whatever x is. So I'm going to say the length is x plus 3. So the perimeter is 34, we need to find the width. So if the perimeter is 34, what is an expression for the perimeter? So I'm going to therefore work out what the perimeter of this rectangle is in terms of x, and then I'm going to equate it to 34. So the perimeter, the definition of the word perimeter, means the sum of the outside lengths. So I'm going to do x plus 3 plus x plus another x plus 3 because this side is the same. And then plus another x because this side is the same as x. So I'm going to do x plus 3 plus x plus 3 plus another x, and I'm going to make that equal to 34. So I now have an equation. I'm going to simplify the left-hand side because at the moment there's a lot of x terms that I can simplify. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 x terms, so 4x, and then 3 plus 3 is 6. So 4x plus 6 equals 34. Now I need to solve this for x, so I'm going to minus 6 from both sides. So I end up with 4x equals 28. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 4, so we have x equals 7. So that's x, so x equals 7, and therefore the length is going to be 7 plus 3, so the length is therefore 10. So the width is 7 and the length is 10, and the answer to the question, so it says find the width, so I would say the width is 7 centimetres. So this question here, it says a triangle has 3 angles, x, 2x plus 10 and 3x minus 5. We need to find the size of the largest angle. So with this question here, I'm going to start off by drawing a picture of a triangle. So the triangle has 3 angles, x, 2x plus 10 and 3x minus 5. So I'm going to label these 3 angles. So I have x over here, I have 2x plus 10 over here, and I have 3x minus 5 over here. It's just a sketch that might not be accurate. It doesn't necessarily matter which one I've labelled which, but I just need to show a triangle with 3 angles of those sizes. So now we kind of need to use our knowledge about what we know about angles inside triangles. So I know that angles in a triangle add up to 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of these 3 angles. So I'm going to have x plus 2x plus 10 plus 3x minus 5. And because I know that angles in a triangle add up to 180, I'm going to make this thing equal to 180. Okay? So now again, I'm going to simplify the left-hand side because at the moment it's a bit messy. So 1x plus 2x plus 3x, that's 6x. And then 10 take away 5 is 5. So 6x plus 5 is 180. So now I can try and solve this. So the opposite of adding 5 is minusing 5. So we end up with 6x equals 175. So we have x equals 175 over 6. That's not the nicest. So I'm just going to leave it as 175 over 6 for now. So it wants us to find the size of the largest angle. So looking at these 3 angles, we have x, 2x plus 10 and 3x minus 5. If we evaluate what each of these angles are, so x, we know that is going to be whatever 175 over 6 is. So I'll just leave it like that for now. This one over here is 2 times x plus 10, so 2 times 175 over 6 plus 10. And then this one over here is 3 times 175 over 6 minus 5. So if I use my calculator, this one is equal to 68.3 recurring degrees, so I'll just put 68.3. This one is equal to 82.5 degrees. And this one is equal to 29.2 degrees if I round it to one decimal place. So I can see that the biggest angle in this triangle is 82.5 degrees. So the answer to the question is 82.5 degrees. So here's an exam style question on this particular topic. So a cinema sells child's tickets and adults' tickets. A child's ticket is £5 and an adult ticket costs X pounds. A family buys 2 child tickets and 3 adult tickets and spends £41 in total. We need to form and solve an equation to find the cost of an adult ticket. So we have 2 child tickets and 3 adult tickets, and that costs £41. So 2 children, so that's 2 lots of 5. So 2 times 5, and, so the word and means plus. 3 adult tickets, so 3 lots of X, that is 3X, and that costs £41. So 2 times 5 is 10, so 10 plus 3X equals 41. So now we need to try and solve this. So I'm going to minus 10 from both sides. So I end up with 3x equals 31. So x equals 31 divided by 3. So that is £10.33. So that is the answer to this question. So here's some quick fire exam style questions on this topic. So pause the video now if you want to have a go at these, and I will show the answers in a moment. Okay, so here are the answers to these questions. Well done if you had a go at those. If you're still a little bit unsure, then maybe go back to previous examples and have a look at those again. But otherwise, well done if you got them all right. So this is everything for this video on forming and solving equations. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye!